Hey folks, EvilDM here, back with another sage advice. Hey YouTube, how you doing out there? Hey subscribers, how you doing? Welcome back to another video. Thank you for continuing along and watching these videos. If you haven't, this is the first time you are, check it out. If you do like, hit subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you know when our next video is coming out. Well, my next video, not our, because I'm only one person. But anyway, we have videos coming out appears on Mondays and Fridays now. So maybe that could change in the future, maybe down to one, maybe more, who knows. But I enjoy doing these things, so you'll get them as they come out as Monday and Friday for now. So let's get on to the topic at hand today. We're going to talk a little bit about three-dimensional NPCs and how to make your major NPCs, villains, and characters in your campaigns be a little bit more than, a cardboard cutout, cookie cutter, whatever character. So back when I was in college, I took a bunch of writing courses, creative writing courses for my degree because I needed electives, and why not? I figured it would help with writing and planning campaigns. Little did I know the courses would be more of a pain in the ass than anything else, but I did walk away with some things that helped me break down and make characters better in my games. At the time, D&D wasn't so popular, so when I tried to put this tried to apply it to D&D with my homework assignments, the teacher was less accepting, or say the professor was less accepting of this, and did not, thought maybe I was like a child or something because I was playing D&D and that's a kid's game. But whatever. So let's figure out a way, designing a major NPC and villains, how to make them pop out, stand out, maybe give them a little more life than what's normal. So there's a couple things you need to go down on your checklist when doing this, and the first one's going to be physical characteristics, and then we're going to look at their emotional side or emotions. Then we're going to look at them psychologically. Then we're going to look at them societal or society-wise, where they fit in, and interpersonal-wise. Like I said, I learned this many years ago in a creative writing course, how to make, create villains, antagonists, protagonists, things like that. So let's break it down a little bit. The physical characteristics basically fall under how they look, how they dress, how do they carry themselves, do they have any unique characteristics, things like that. Maybe they have like a goatee, maybe they have like a little scar across their face, maybe they wear glasses, maybe they have a hat on all the time, something like that. Now for emotions, this is the outward behavior of the character and how they act towards the world and how they express themselves towards the world. Psychologically, this is the deep internal motivations of the character. Why do they act the way they do? And how is this tied into their emotions? And there's something that makes them act the way they do, basically. And societal basically covers the character as a whole, but like where they fit in society is a class structure, as far as not classes in like fighter range or whatever, warrior, things like that, as in like they're rich, they're poor, that type of class system. Where do they get their resources from? What happened to them? Where do they fit back in their high school days or their their growing up days? Were they part of the A group? Were they part of the B group? Were they part of the nerdy table group? Things like that. And interpersonal is basically what relationships these characters have with the people around them, the other NPCs, their underlings, maybe their overlings if it's a mid-tier NPC or villain. And these are the questions that I have written down that I usually like to ask when I'm developing these major NPCs and big bads for my campaigns in my DM journal. I like to answer these 5 questions. What do they look like physically? What are their emotional behaviors? What is going on with them at a deeper psychological level at the time of their life? Where do they fit in with society? And what are the relationships like with the people around them? So I wrote up a little example here, looking at my current game right now. I'm running the World of Arcanus, which is my actual play podcast that you can listen to, and I'll insert a link down there so you can take a listen to that. But I'm going to go over the Duke, who is one of the major NPCs during Season 1 arc. So, the first question, what does he look like? The Duke is a light-skinned human male in his mid-30s, 6'2", about 175 average build for a man his size. He has dark brown hair with brown eyes. His robes, normally silver-colored, with some red trim on them, are always very clean and neat-looking. He has a goatee that is well-maintained and is kept neatly in place. The man keeps his appearance up because he's an influential character in the world, and he needs to be seen that way. So, I mean, if you look haphazard and sloppy, sometimes people don't see you as an authoritative figure. They might think you was lazy, and, you know. Let's see. He also walks with confidence. When he walks with confidence and he talks with confidence, makes you feel you need to listen to him when he's moving around. So, 2, what are his emotional behaviors? He sees the world as something he can use to gain what he wants. Normally, the Duke is a rational man coming across level-headed and very patient. But if he's pushed too far, given too much stress in his life, the Duke will break down, making irrational decisions based on what is going on at the time, losing his cool very easily. This is a major weakness in this character. Okay. Now, what is going on with him in a deeper level, psychological level? Well, the Duke is purely a greedy man. He wants and takes, but never gives. Nothing major happened in his life that made him this way. He just happens to be one of those people that got a little bit of power, a little bit of respect, and it went straight to his head, making him believe no matter what he does, he should get it his way, right away. No, not Burger King. Maybe it's the fact that he's studied these ancient texts and books and everything and tablets that he has found while researching the power that he has, corrupting his mind. Maybe that is what is going on with him, because he is a very powerful wizard, very powerful necromancer in my game, as well as a very competent fighter. So maybe something along the arts along the way is affecting his mind psychologically. Who knows? Where does he fit in with society? This one is pretty easy. The Duke is in the inner circle, the crime lord that runs the town from the shadows, but has no issues with stepping out of the shadows to let those know who is really the one in charge in town. He lives like the rich elite and expects nothing less. Pretty simple. What are the relationships around him like? Okay, well, the Duke does not have any personal relationships with anyone. He has various women in his life, but he shows no emotional attachment to any one of them. He sees them as a weakness that somebody can exploit with him. He has a right-hand man named Alinar who oversees the daily operations of the Duke, and he is his most trusted, and I put trusted in quotes because he really doesn't trust anyone, and people who don't trust anyone really can't trust themselves. Is his most trusted man. Well, he treats almost everyone as people beneath him. His right-hand man is the only one who gets a small shred of respect from the Duke. Most would think the Duke is a lonely man, but with the power he holds over people, he knows he never is truly alone in the world. Maybe one day, when that power is no longer in his hands, he will look back and regret the decisions he has made in life, because he really is a truly lonely man. Now, this character, I designed him after the infamous Damien Dark character from the DC universe. I kind of mimicked him from that. Maybe not his look so much, but his emotional behavior, his psychological behavior. But, I mean, Damien Dark has a more psychological background to him, but I used him as a template type thing and made my own backstory with him, which is an absolutely excellent idea. Any TV, comic book, whatever piece of literature that you have as an inspiration, you can use to base it off your NPC, to make your villain, to make your good, even a helpful NPC for the party can be done this way as well. I just happen to use this as an example because the arc is gone and this character happens to be gone, so it can be reveal a little bit more about him in case those players of this game actually do watch and discover this. Then they will know a little bit more about the Duke, because as of right now he is dead as far as they know. So that's just an example of how you can make your NPCs pop, your villains be more of a character. You write this all. This took like a total of 3 pages in my book to write all this up, with his stats and everything like that. Maybe 4 if the size of the book is not that big. So this is what I have written down for him, and I can refer back to this if there's like a gap between games. I can refer back to this and take a look and be like, oh, okay, so he did this, this, this. And I also jot down on his pages as well what major events happened during the game that involved him. Like the characters were tracking him at one point, so he knew this, but he allowed it because he wanted to see what they would do. So I wrote down the characters had taken one of his scarves that he had worn, and he knew this. So I wrote down he is aware they took the scarf, they're using it to trace him and follow him around town by using a special spell that they found, a tracer spell using his item to lead around. And he was aware of this because it's magic, and he's aware of almost all magic in the land due to the study of the ancient tablet that he has, which is a whole nother story in itself. It's an awesome, ancient tablet that allows you to blah blah blah. I can't really explain that because that is part of the campaign. So anyway, but that's how you can make your NPC three-dimensional, how you can pop. I give him some life. He's not just a name on a piece of paper with some stats. Now he has a life, a backstory. He has a reason to exist in the game. And he makes it more interesting to the player characters when you bring him up. Now you know how he is. Now you can get into the mindset of him and play this character, and it's like a totally different person sitting there when you're role-playing him. I mean, you don't have to do an accent or anything like that, but you can role-play this character and be standoffish and, act like the Duke and be all proper and give maybe little snarky comments about things here and there to the players, and they'll be like, well, okay, well, this is a pretty interesting guy. He must be a big deal. Let's pay attention to him. Things like that. Players pick up on these things, so why not make it more interesting for them? So with that said, I hope this has done something for you, give you some inspiration to help your game. Maybe you'll use this in your game. If you do, leave me a comment below. Why don't you hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, and hit that bell icon if you want to hear more from me, because I got a lot more stuff to tell you from all these years of gaming. Good night, everybody.